All right. Yeah. Okay, I'll see you later. Nice to see you. I don't know. I might be there tomorrow. I'm not sure. We'll see how things go tonight. Hang in there. Hey, everybody. Can you see me? How are you? Welcome to After School Adventures. I'm Rad Raz. And, man, it was a miserable day at school today. We had those state standardized tests. You remember those? There's always that one question that's in every year. There's this one question about it's like an English thing. You got to read a paragraph and then pull out the pronouns or what's the main subject. And there's always the same story about a guy who was like at the World's Fair 120 years ago who ran out of plates and he's serving ice cream. But he doesn't have any more plates for his ice cream, so then rather than close up shop, he starts wrapping up waffles, and he puts an ice cream scoop on top, and boom, you got yourself an ice cream cone. I don't know why that story always sticks with me, but it's in those standard tests every year. These usually aren't that bad, but they're like an hour and a half. You're in your desk. You're not allowed to have any other materials around you. And all you've got is the booklet with the questions and then the answer card that you have to fill in the bubbles. So I sit down, we're 10 minutes into this thing, and all of a sudden, my nose starts dripping. It's like Niagara Falls has possessed my right nostril. All of a sudden, it's just like this gross, clear, burning liquid is coming out of my nose and, practically dripping into my mouth. And at first, you think you could just handle that. That's not working because there's still this whole area right under your nose that's damp and irritated. And I can't get up. I can't go to the bathroom because we're in the middle of the test. I have no other materials around me. I don't have my backpacks. There's no tissues or anything. So what do I have to do? I have to start ripping off pieces of that standardized test, the question parts that I haven't used, and I start dabbing. And they're not and you're only allowed to use like one sheet of paper for scratch paper. If you rip up that program, it says all over there. You can't rip this up, can't rip that up. It was ridiculous. It was like so bad. So I'm glad to just be home, get some orange juice, rest up, and I can't think of a better way to rest up than to do what we do here in After School Adventures. We're going to be playing video games. We're going to be watching cartoons. We're going to be doing a little show and tell, and of course, a snack from you guys out there. This snack comes all the way from Sweden. All the way from Sweden. Can you imagine? This comes from a guy named Biff Goldman, real good guy, and he tells me that back in his day, after school, they would go out back and they would have beer and beef jerky. Well, look, I'm sick. I'm not going to have beer. That's just going to irritate my throat more, so I'm just going to have some orange juice. But I did pick up some delicious-looking teriyaki beef jerky. I went with the teriyaki not only because I like teriyaki, but also our friend here, Jay Higgs, has a Hawaiian shirt on. If that's not a good sign, I don't know what is, right? All right. Well, you guys are probably chomping at the bit trying to figure out what cartoons we're watching today. Well, there were a lot of jolly cartoons out there. A lot of fun ones. And then there were some that were just awesome. And that's what we're watching today. We're going to be celebrating Batman, the animated series. It was out in the 90s, really the time when cartoons started really up in the ante, not pulling its punches anymore. Cartoons are established. Kids are going to watch them. Kids are going to love them. So we can take chances now, and that's totally what Batman did. It totally reinvented what Batman was. I think that before Batman the Animated Series came out, you had basically, if you wanted to look at cool Batman properties, you basically had the first movie that came out in the 80s with Jack Nicholson. And Other than that, what did we have? We had like Adam West Batman from the 60s. Great, but did it really do much for Batman? Not really. By this time in the 90s, unless you were a real comic head, you didn't watch, you didn't read a lot of comics. So most of us had no idea the dark side of Batman, really. So until the animated series came out, we didn't really take Batman that seriously, aside from the movie and a couple of good Nintendo games. Batman the Animated Series changed all that, and I think it really started the rebirth of the Dark Knight. So that's what we're doing today. We're going to be watching a little Batman right now. For me, Batman the Animated Series never got better than Clayface. He was my favorite villain. He's this actor who gets a hold of this new kind of, what's the word I'm looking for? Pancake makeup, I guess, to like stage makeup. And this stuff, beyond making you look good for film, also totally fixes your face. I think he got disfigured in some way, and he starts depending on this stuff. Well, he takes too much involuntarily. He gets in by the bad crew, and the next thing you know, he turns into Clayface. Okay, so let's get started. This is the only setup here is Batman's finally tracked down Clayface, and he's looking to arrest him, and this is the showdown. All right, so let's watch it. It's Batman the Animated Series. Great game, great show. And once again, Biff Goldman, thank you for the beef jerky, sir. All right, let's get started. Here comes Clayface. Oh, this stuff is aromatic. Woo.
See? I figured out how to manage this thing pretty good.
Sounds like someone let the dog in. That big claw is awesome. Well, Batman, he's always got a plan, doesn't he? Is that a pirate? Major Dad. That's not my joke. That's MST3K.
What are you doing? Stop it! Look at them, Hagen. Look at what you used to be. No. Turn them off. You can't play those roles again, Hagen. Let me help you.
There are children, Hagen.
No! Hagen's gone! Make him stop haunting
This is
me.
awesome.
Stop it! Turn them off! I can't control it! I can't be all of them! Not all at once!
Oh, wow. Uh-oh.
Mother of mercy. It looks just like Bruce Wayne.
Gross.
You know what I'd have given for a death scene like this? Too bad I won't get to read the notices.
I'm just glad to know it wasn't really Bruce Wayne who attacked me.
Thank you, Mr. Fox. All charges against Wayne have, of course, been dropped, and Roland Daggett remains in custody.
My word, sir. I should think after all this, it would be time to rest.
Look, a piece of clay left behind when they took Hagen's body away. Watch.
Electricity has no effect on it.
Exactly. I wouldn't be surprised if the body they took to the morgue was only a shell. Don't forget, first and foremost, Hagen was an actor. He said it himself, Alfred. He called it a scene, maybe the greatest scene of his career.
See you around, Matt.
A death scene so real, it fooled us all.
Got him. Come on, I said that. Awesome. Awesome. So yeah, Clayface. That's the only one Clayface episode I've ever seen. I can only imagine what the returns back are like. But I mean, I believe this was at a time when there was still hand drawing cartoons. So that scene where Clayface is out of control of his morphing abilities is just what an undertaking that must have been to draw that scene by hand. So brilliant show. Absolutely brilliant show. I know there's a bunch of different iterations of it, and other series made by the same creator. I don't remember the creator's name, Tim something. But any of these animated series, Superman animated series, I think they had an Avengers one. Maybe not Avengers. No, it's like DC. So whatever their guys were, I don't remember. Anyway. Great series, Batman the Animated Series. Of course, we can't talk about Batman without at least touching on Batman's true origins, and that's what brings us to today's show and tell. I have over here a graphic novel. It's not a comic. It's a graphic novel of Batman. The Dark Knight Returns. Now, this may appear to you to be just another graphic novel. There were many of them by Batman, with Batman in them. This was made by a guy named Frank Miller. And why this is an important piece in Batman's timeline is basically this was the birth of the real anti-hero, in my opinion. I read this in a college course, believe it or not. This was required reading for me. And basically it's because there's an overarching message about how the media can shape a story. They can take the facts, shape them in a way they see fit, and then present the story, and the next thing you know, everyone's believing it. That's what this is all about. The time of this takes place about 20 years after Batman has managed to put every major villain into the Arkham Asylum, or kill them. So, there's peace in Gotham City. There has been for 20 years. And all of a sudden, crime begins to emerge. And Batman's been retired for 20 years. He's still the same guy. He's aged 20 years. And now he has to go back out into the city and find it in himself to become the Dark Knight once again. So this is almost like a reimagining, a rebirth of Batman. This was made in the 80s. let's see, I'm not sure exactly when. I'm not going to bother looking it up, but it was definitely in the 80s. And it really showed the dark side of the Dark Knight. It showed that he was not infallible. It showed that he was not, he had many dimensions to him. And I think a lot of other artists fell in line with that. And we began to see darker, more, not just dark, but also human superheroes, with conflicting natures and questionable ethics at times to get the job done. So this is great. If you've ever wanted to read a Batman graphic novel, get this. All right, start here. In my opinion, I think that it's so important, not just in Batman's timeline, but also a real nice slice of pie into the mentality and the mindset of what it was like living in the 80s. Great graphic novel. Highly suggested. All right. Enough about the graphic novel. Let's go to what I always know Batman with, the video games. Okay? We've got an awesome video game here to play today. There are so many to choose from. You've got great games that were based off of the Tim Burton, even the Tim Burton movies. Pretty much, except for one game comes to mind, Batman Forever for the Super Nintendo and the Sega Genesis were terrible. But aside from that, there were a whole host of really, really good Batman games. Most of them beat 'em ups. I don't think there's a Batman RPG out there. But the one we're playing, I picked basically because this one is spot on with the animation that we just saw in Batman the Animated Series. This is The Adventures of Batman and Robin for the Sega Genesis. There was also Adventures of Batman and Robin for the Super Nintendo, which is very hard to find. At least it's very expensive. This one, I don't know that this is as expensive, but I really, really like it. This is a great game. I highly suggest it if you're into action games and you're into Batman. And the graphics for this are just absolutely top-notch. So let's get started with The Adventures of Batman and Robin for the Sega Genesis. Oh my god, I almost fell over. The wheels got caught up there. Hold on a second. Let me get... Listen to that Sega Genesis twang. Look at the graphics here. Look at this, Arkham Asylum. Everybody's missing. You got the Joker and Two-Face and the Mad Hatter. They're gone. I don't usually show the intro, but this is just so beautiful, and it looks exactly like the cartoon. You know, it was a real feat to get that done, I think, in the 16-bit system. So yeah, we got a breakout here happening here. Alright, and that's it. So there's another reason why I showed the intro. This game is really hard. Now, I've played this game a lot. Multiple sessions, and I've never beaten the first level. But the engine is so cool, it doesn't matter. Now, you both Batman or Robin. Who's going to be Robin? It's two-player, so somebody's going to get stuck with Batman or Robin. But once you get in here, happy birthday to me. So Joker's on the loose. And as you can see, first glance here, okay, alright, this is basically Contra. It's a run and gun, right? Well, here's the thing. There's a meter up here. And if you let that meter build up, you will hit stronger. And I think that's brilliant because this isn't what Batman does. Batman doesn't just hang back and throw ranged attacks. He gets in there, gets down and dirty. He's using karate. Okay? And that's what. And if occasionally he'll throw out a well-placed batarang or two, right? So watch how this plays out, and notice how the meter drives me to only attack when I know I'm going to land a hit. All right, check it out. Same button for the batarang and the ninja and the karate. So as long as the guy's near me, I'm gonna punch. And every time I attack, that meter goes all the way back down to 0. So I'm doing my best to just land those hits when I can. Sometimes he's punching them, but sometimes he's headbutting them. Sometimes he's kicking them. It's brilliant. Now, there are power-ups here. Basically, they'll change the power of the batarang. Now, right now, I've got like a green meter, so I guess maybe they're, I don't know. I haven't looked at I don't have the instructions, so I don't know what the different power-ups are. That was awesome, by the way. Ah, come on. I'm not sure what the power-ups do, really. They seem to change the color of the batarang. Sometimes there's like electric batarang. I think I've got poison batarang, but really, I'm not sure what that does for us. But you know, check him out. He's jump kicking here. He's throwing out batarangs, taking out 2 clowns at once. This is typical Batman stuff. Like, this is really, you know, faithful, in my opinion, to how Batman would react to a whole gaggle of clowns coming at him. Now, I'm doing okay. I haven't lost a life yet. I get 3 lives. But I'll tell you what, man, the boss that's coming up, effing Widowmaker. Like that, I don't know, maybe this game was designed to be played with Batman and Robin, because this boss is such a nightmare. Woohoo! Bullets everywhere. You guys done already? Cool. Oh, I thought that was health. Oh my god. Ah! Catch me from every side. Alright, so here's the boss. Oh my god, I'm already dead. I do have some jumping problems with this. I do tend to have some jumping problems. Oh, jeez. Ow! I wish this power-up was health. Unbelievable. It charges out of nowhere! There we go. What a pain. Alright, we got the first part down. I'm down to my last life. Stop in the top, Raz. Oh my god, come on. It's like you can't even read what the thing's gonna do, man. I should really research what those power-ups do. Alright, this is it. Last iteration. Now who's this? Is that Harlequin? Ah! Throwing bombs. Oh my god. Really hard. Really hard, huh? Alright, that's it. Got that Mr. Freeze here. Again, look at that graphics for this. Really cool. Alright, we gotta wrap it up. Before we do, let's head on over to our good friend. What after school special show would be complete without some sort of fun, happy-go-lucky mascot who isn't depressing at all. Let's bring it on over to Penny, the paralyzed puppet. Penny, good. Okay, sweetheart. All right. I think she had too much sugar again. She's crashed. Penny, as always, has Penny's incorrect tip of the day here. What does it have to say? She says, "Clean hands, bad." Allow me to translate for you. I believe what Penny's trying to say is, who came up with the cockamamie idea of washing your hands before you eat? That is ridiculous. You're gonna get barbecue sauce all over your hands already. Have you ever heard of the environment? You're gonna want to wash your hands afterward. Don't wash your hands before. That's double the water. Think of all the resources you're wasting. I mean, it's ridiculous. So try in the future to think about the world and not yourself. And the next time you're eating, or of course, cooking, don't wash your hands till after you're done. Please think about the rest of the world. Okay. All right. That's it. We had another great adventure here. I believe I hear my mother coming up the driveway once again. Uh-oh. She's had a bad day. What a shock. Hopefully, we can avoid her long enough for her to calm down a little bit and maybe watch some Wheel of Fortune. Okay, guys. Take care. Thanks for joining us. Until next time, I'm Rad Raz with Penny the Paralyzed Puppet. We'll see you next time.